Roger.
Alright, good morning everyone. I'm Martin Wenzel, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Welcome back. And we're here for World Tour Flight 277. We're in Singapore at Changi, Singapore Changi International Airport. Singapore Changi Airport. We're flying over to Dili in Timor-Leste, East Timor. Presidente Nicolau on Lobato International Airport. We're going to be flying on Drukair Royal Bhutan Airlines Flight 900. The flight in real life is usually flown on the Airbus A319. We're going to be using the FlyByWire A320 Neo mod. The flight also takes off. It's a red-eye flight, 2:30 in the morning. We're taking off early here, but the sun will be coming up. So we'll get a little bit of lights coming out of Singapore, hopefully. Have some beautiful sunrise, hopefully. Land early in the morning in Timor-Leste. Long flight today too, so we'll be using some time acceleration. Let's get inside the plane. Get that music turned down so we can hear all the cool sounds of the plane and all. Alright, jet bridge doesn't seem to be coming out. Came in yesterday. All right, here we go. Gotta get some of the paperwork put in the right place. So we're gonna do our things. All right. Engine. We just want to do our quick safety check here.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. The terminal staff are ready to send the passengers down. Can we start boarding?
Yes, start boarding whenever you like.
Excellent. We'll get started then, and I'll let the rest of the crew know we're ready. It might take a few minutes for the passengers to start arriving, though.
EGSX doesn't take that long. Prepared. And we only have one cargo door they can use. Alright, so let's do our safety check. We got our master switches off for the engine, ignition selector normal, weather radar off, landing gear down, and wipers are both in the off position. Alright, batteries check off. Go on this overhead. Okay. Batteries are both off. Voltage are both above 25.5. Battery 1 on. Got some lights. Do have external power. Turn that on. Turn up some lighting. Turn on the dome light. Fire test. Master switch for the APU on. 3 seconds. And APU start. Strobe light auto. Wing light on, nav logo light on. Vacuum and brake pressure in the green. Flaps. Are in the 0 position. Speed brakes are retracted. Pro window heat auto. Air condition panel, we got no white lights. X-bleed auto, temperature selector set. Electric panel, check no amber lights except for the generator 1 lights. Generator 2, pump on for the APU. Vent panel, also no white light. Bleed. Ready to start board. Over here, payload. 129 passenger. Start that boarding process. Same with the fuel. 8 minutes of fuel, no big deal there.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Hi there, we're now refueling the aircraft and we'll let you know once it's completed. Roger.
Alright, so we're doing our overhead panel scan. All white lights off, except for the fuel pumps. And also through oxygen supply. Ground control comes on. DVR test. Lights. There. Captain, and purser. We'll keep it on captain and purser for the keyback panel. Steers are all 3 sets of nav. Strobe is auto, beacon off. Seatbelt signs will keep off while we're fueling. We'll turn on no smoking and the emergency lights armed. Cabin pressure panel, check no white lights. There are no white lights. Emergency exit light armed, I'll quick to that. Air conditioning panel, no white lights. APU feed on. X-bleed auto right there. Battery 1 and 2 off and then on. Engine 1 and 2, we do the fire tests. Audio switching normal. Maintenance panel. Check all lights are. Alright, so radio management panel. RMP is on. Panel is on. Off, it's on. Green nav light is off. Cell light is off. Function that, and then frequencies are set. That it is. Alright, let's go and see FMC. Okay, FMGC. Here we got our nav database. We do have a LEAP 1A to fix, so I'm going to put it in on my. page 1, we're going to request right from SimBrief, pulls it all in nicely. Uploaded progress. Whiskey Sierra 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 Singapore to Papa Delta Lima, which is Dili. And our alternate is Whiskey Alpha Tango. Altari Airport. Okay, cost index of 40, we can actually bring up brief guys. Right, cost index of 40, cruising at flight level 390, temperature, where that negative 52 comes from, but there's negative 54, top of climb, we're within a few temps there, ground temperature 15, H2, we have to get that zero fuel weight right here, so it's 50s. Plane right over here. Load 33.12. They're already on board. That was a really quick boarding process. 33.2 actually button, I think. He's 6.4. Still planning. That's 9.1. We actually have 9.9. Fill that all in. Looking for our average wind component, minus 11. That means we have a headwind of 11 knots. Curves. Not gonna mess with any of that. Okay. Go to the flight plan page. Make sure we have all of our waypoints. Kadar, Mike 774, Yong, Luzia, Whiskey 37, Dill, BOR, direct in airport. Our flight clearance.
Singapore clearance, World Bhutan 900, gate Bravo 10, request clearance to Nicolau Lobato with information Mike.
World Bhutan 900, clear to Nicolau Lobato via AMD 3 Bravo, departure runway 20 center, initial climb 4000, then as filed, squawk 6547.
Cleared to Nicolau Lobato via AMD 3 Bravo, departure runway 20 center, initial climb 4000, then as filed, squawk 6547, World Bhutan 900.
Royal Bhutan 900, read back correct, wind ready, contact Singapore ground 127.27.
127.27, World Bhutan 900.
1 second here. It wants us to go 20 center. I think that is 20 center. Now, in real life, there is construction work on that. Obviously, it is operable in the sim, but in real life, it would not be in use. Construction work on it. We'll go with what the sim has. Not a problem. Status. Departure runway. Actually, I'm going to change. We're going to go 20 right. That's closer to that one. Be a shorter taxi. Well, I just don't want to use real life operating.
Singapore clearance, World Bhutan 900, gate, Bravo 10, request clearance to Nicolau Lobato with information Mike.
Royal Bhutan 900, cleared to Nicolau Lobato, runway 20 right, fly runway heading, climb 4000, squawk, 6547.
Cleared to Nicolau Lobato, runway 20 right, fly runway heading, climb 4000, squawk, 6547, World Bhutan 900.
Royal Bhutan 900, red back correct, wind ready, contact Singapore ground 127.27.
127.27, World Bhutan 900.
Flight plan is set. Let's double check to make sure that this is working. Nation.
Singapore clearance, Singapore 510, heavy, gate, Alpha Q1, request clearance to Victor Oscar Bravo Lima with information
page.
Mike. Singapore 510, heavy, cleared to Victor Oscar Bravo Lima via Master Bravo, departure, runway 20 center, initial climb 4000, then as filed, squawk, 6551.
Variable wind.
Cleared to Campagoda via Master Bravo, departure, runway 20 center, initial climb 4000, then as filed, squawk, 6551, Singapore 510, heavy. Singapore 510, heavy, red back correct, wind ready, contact Singapore ground 127.27.
27 degree.
127.27, Singapore 510, heavy.
Okay, so we're gonna go Toga. D speeds 145.
Ground to cockpit.
145.
Go ahead.
Alright, 146.
Loading has been completed. We're sending the load sheet up to you now. We're waiting for you to close up. Once the beacon light is switched on, we'll contact you to begin pushback. Roger.
Flex temperature config 1.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Okay, we've received the load sheet from ground. There's the passenger count, the crew count, and the total
Singapore
souls count.
clearance, Singapore 516, heavy, gate,
Thanks a lot.
Request
Okay,
clearance to
looks
Victor
like we're all
Charlie
set to go
Charlie with
whenever you're
information
ready.
Mike.
All right, you can close the doors whenever you're ready.
Heavy, cleared to
I let
Victor
the crew
Charlie
know.
Glare
Charlie
shield
Bravo,
set.
Bravo,
Flight director's
departure,
on.
20 center, initial climb 4000, then as filed, squawk,
Anti-skid nose
6557.
steering on.
Cleared to Major G
Checking the weather radar. Off. Wind shear off.
Runway 20 center, initial
PC
climb
mode selector.
4000, then as filed,
Auto.
squawk, 6557,
System 1.
Singapore 516,
Reporting
heavy.
on. Para standby. Or TCAS standby.
Singapore 516, heavy, red back correct, wind ready, contact Singapore ground
check the box.
127.27.
And
1.7
doors are closed.
7, Singapore 516
Belts are
heavy.
adjusted. Fuel on board, checked. 10,880. Takeoff data, checked. Internal power. Off and disconnected. 4-star checklist down the line. Cockpit preparation completed. Gear pins and covers removed. Signs on and auto. Gears, nav, fuel quantity 9880 kilos. Takeoff data set. Arrow 1009 set. Down to the line. Our pushback clearance.
Singapore ground, World Bhutan 900, gate Bravo 10, request pushback and startup.
Royal Bhutan 900, pushback and startup approved.
Pushback and startup approved, World Bhutan 900.
Yes, that's just a second. Doing here? Sex, what are we doing? You guys screwed. There's two of them. What's going on here?
118.25. We are ready for pushback. 118.25. Singapore 516 heavy.
Okay. I got screwed up. Just not gonna watch that. Wait until. That's all. Alright. Alright, windows and doors are closed. Slides check armed. ECAM door page. Check beacon light. On.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead.
Thrust lever has idles. Tow truck called. ECAM. Nose wheel steering.
Just a reminder, if you're using software to track your virtual airline flight, you might want to start it now if you haven't already. We're ready to disconnect.
Thanks very much for your help. Pin straight ahead and we'll see you again soon. Cabin crew, please set doors to automatic.
Alright, we're gonna push back. Hill to the right.
Locking gear.
Yeah, we got there's two pushback tugs on top of each other here. I'm bumping back. Need like the other locking.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines are clear. Start at will.
Hey. Start checklist below the line. Windows and doors closed. Beacon light on. Thrust levers idles. Parking brake released. 4-star checklist complete. Okay, ignition start. Starting engine 2. checklist, right? Start the engine. Ignition, 22%. Fuel flow should start increasing. There it is. PT and then 1.
Singapore ground, Singapore 522, heavy, gate, Echo 5, request pushback and start up.
Beautiful pushback.
Singapore
Thank you
522,
very much
heavy,
for that.
pushback and start up approved. Pushback and start up
Sometimes
approved.
pushback
Singapore
is a little bit
522,
deep.
heavy. Singapore ground, Singapore 522, heavy, request taxi. Singapore 522, heavy, taxi to holding point 1120 center. Taxi to holding point runway 20 center, Singapore 522, heavy. Singapore 522, heavy, hold position. Hold position, Singapore
Starting engine
522, heavy. Changi information, mag 2221, wind variable at 2 knots, visibility 10 kilometers or more, sky condition, fuel 1,800 feet, scattered 17,000 feet, broken 30,000 feet, temperature 278.24, QNH 100 minor, transition altitude 11,000, transition level, flight level 1.
Switch to add us to both of my radios. Engine mode selector normal, off, caster switch off, engine anti-ice, leave those off for now, ground spoilers armed, rudder trim 0, flaps 1, pitch trim set, cam upper check no. Okay. After start checklist, anti-ice off, ECAM status checked, pitch trim 0% set, rudder trim 0. After start
Singapore
checklist.
510, heavy, contact Singapore Tower 118.25. 118.25, Singapore 510, heavy.
Flight control check. Pull up, down, neutral, pull right, left, neutral, rudder, right, left, neutral.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is secured for
That's
takeoff.
taxi clearance.
Singapore
Thanks a lot.
World Bhutan
Let me know when you're
900,
ready for
request
takeoff,
taxi.
and I'll get the crew seated and secured.
I will, no problem.
900, taxi to holding point 120 right.
Taxi to holding point runway 20 right, World Bhutan 900.
Oh, hello. Lights are on. Turn off lights. Seatbelt signs are on. In here because it pushes back very well. We're in taxi out to Whiskey. Didn't give us really instruction. Taxi out to Whiskey. Didn't have any problems with the landing aircraft as they're going to be on Victor 5 here. lot of spacing there for these
Singapore
planes.
522 heavy.
Unless
Contact
that's one
Singapore
plane
Tower
we're just like saw.
118.25.
Really big.
118.25. Singapore 522 heavy.
Sometimes spacing can be an issue with the AI ATC. Victor, right? Hop over.
Singapore ground. Singapore 236 heavy. Runway vacated.
Takeoff config. Has no blue
Singapore
lights.
236 heavy. Taxi to gate Delta 46. Taxi to gate Delta 46. Singapore 236 heavy.
Yeah. Well, when you have two planes, and now they're both going around too. Oh, no, one lane. That is a little scary. We've had that happen to us though, where they clear us both to land, and it's like, I'm right on the tail of the other plane. I mean, that guy was. They were within like 10 feet of each other on that landing there. So if you didn't see it, there were two planes landing right next to us, like right on top of each other. That's why it kind of looked weird. Feel this one. They're not getting enough clearance here on runway 0 right. I think they're using. Yeah, they're only landing on runway 20. Landing is good. The next guy's gonna have to go around. Well, not very good at spacing. I don't know if that's a function. I think that's partly a function of the injection process, that it kind of injects planes in, and then. But see, even if these planes are on within the area of the airport, FSHUD should be kind of spacing them out, which it does a decent job, but sometimes it doesn't. The guy's gonna go. Already realized I might be able to land. Guy's still on the runway.
Singapore ground, type 409 heavy, runway vacated.
Type 409 heavy.
Just
Taxi to
vacated
gate
the runway.
Foxtrot 60.
Taxi to gate, Foxtrot 60, type 409 heavy.
Royal Bhutan 900, contact Singapore Tower 118.25.
118.25, Royal Bhutan 900.
Before takeoff checklist down to the line, flight controls checked, flight instruments checked, briefing, confirmed flap setting, config 1F. Got our V speeds V1, 145, VR 146, 152, transition 11,000, flex temp. We're going Toga, no flex temperature. ETC set, ECAM memo, takeoff no blue, down to the line.
Ground, go fan
Ready for
166,
departure.
heavy, runway vacated.
Singapore Tower, Royal Bhutan 900, runway 20 right, ready for departure.
Royal Bhutan 900, line up runway 20 right.
Line up runway 20 right, Royal Bhutan 900.
Cabin crew, please take seats for takeoff.
Royal Bhutan 900, wind variable at 2 knots, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff. Royal Bhutan 900.
Closed line cabin crew advised. As Tara, engine mode selector, ignition, or normal packs on, or takeoff checklist complete. Thrust set, speed alive, 80 knots, 100 knots. E1, rotate. Positive rate. Gear up.
Royal Bhutan 900, contact Singapore departure 132.15.
132.15, Royal Bhutan 900.
Lap 0.
Singapore departure, Royal Bhutan 900 at 3000, climbing 4000.
Cabin crew, you're free to move around the cabin.
Radar contact, turn right heading 290, contact Singapore Center 123.7.
Right heading 290, 123.7, Royal Bhutan 900. Singapore Center, Royal Bhutan 900 at 3800.
Royal Bhutan 900, radar contact, turn right heading 270, continue climb flight level 390.
Right heading 270, continue climb flight level 390, Royal Bhutan 900.
Thai Asia 351, continue descent 1500.
Continue descent 1500, Thai Asia 351.
Qantas 53, heavy, turn right heading 015. Right heading 015, Qantas 53, heavy. Royal Bhutan 900, turn left heading 290.
Left heading 290,
I'm supposed to fly out on the heading.
900.
Correct that. They didn't give us a star, but they're vectoring us out and vectors. Bad job by me there. That's my fault. Flying out manually and I forgot that. Yeah, that's right. Right. Climb to 9,000 or 39,000. Zero. We're gonna look back at the flight path.
Contact following Port Center 132.6. 132.6, Singapore 522, heavy.
Kind of exactly what I wanted on takeoff here. Look at this. We got all those ships.
7159, cleared runway 32 Bravo, arrival. Cleared runway Echo Sierra, Lima 2 Bravo, arrival 7159. Thai Asia 351, turn right heading 015.
Right heading 015, Thai Asia 351.
Royal Bhutan 900, proceed direct Basina, then as filed.
Proceed direct to Suna, World Bhutan 900.
Traffic.
There. Under pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has
Have to
turned
take
off
off.
the sign.
Checklist down to the line. Landing gear up. Flaps retracted. Packs on. Down to the line. Below the line. Barrel ref. Standard set. Checklist complete. Basically. So basically, they had us go out on the, and it looks like they wanted us to go on the Admit 3 Foxtrot Archer. Give us, on our clearance, vectored us out to it.
Singapore 9063 heavy, continue descent 4000.
Continue descent 4000, Singapore 963 heavy.
Sim rate 1.
Singapore 9063 heavy, contact Kuala Lumpur Centre 132.6.
132.6, Singapore 963 heavy.
Qantas 53 heavy, contact Singapore approach 126.3. 126.3, Qantas 53 heavy. Red Cap 1729, continue descent 4000.
Continue descent 4000, Red Cap 1729.
Emirates 352 heavy, cleared by back Lima 2 Bravo, arrival.
Cleared Bravo, Oscar Bravo, Alpha Golf, Lima 2 Bravo, arrival, Emirates 352 heavy.
Malaysian 124, proceed direct to Lax.
Proceed direct, Sierra Alpha Lima Alpha X-ray 124.
Red Cap 1729, contact Kuala Lumpur Centre 132.6.
132.6, Red Cap 1729.
Thai Asia 351, contact Singapore approach 126.3.
126.3, Thai Asia 351.
Singapore Center, Qatar 944, heavy, at flight level 260, descending 7,000. Qatar 944, heavy, radar contact, proceed direct Babag, continue descent 7,000, QNH 1010. Proceed direct Bravo Oscar Bravo Alpha Golf, continue descent 7,000, Qatar 944, heavy. Wagonair 26 leads, continue descent 4,000.
Continue descent 4,000, Wagonair 268.
Wagonair 26 leads, contact Kuala Lumpur Center 132.6.
132.6, Wagonair 268.
Beautiful sunrise. Going out of Singapore.
Arrival.
Clear Lima Lima 2 Bravo, arrival, Singapore 222, heavy.
There. Still on our departure. Almost up to 25,000 feet. Barely left the area.
132.6.
132.6.
Knew it was going to be a beautiful sunrise with all these clouds.
Singapore Center, K-Mile 801, Victor Mike Romeo 8 Foxtrot, departure at 4,000.
K-Mile 801, radar contact, continue climb flight level 330.
Continue climb flight level 330, K-Mile 801.
Malaysia 124, contact Kuala Lumpur Center 132.6.
132.6, Malaysia 124.
Singapore Center, Qantas 53, heavy at 3,500, climbing 6,000. Qantas 53, heavy, radar contact, fly heading 200, continue climb flight level 120. Fly heading 200, continue climb flight level 120, Qantas 53, heavy. Petite 7159, continue descent 4,000. Continue descent 4,000, Petite 7159. Qatar 944 Heavy, cleared by Bagleeba 2 Bravo, arrival. Cleared by Bagleeba 2 Bravo, arrival, Qatar 944 Heavy. Qantas 53 Heavy, expect ILS, approach, runway 20 right. Expect ILS, approach, runway 20 right, Qantas 53 Heavy. Batik 7159er, contact Kuala Lumpur Center 132.6. 132.6, Batik 7159er. Qantas 53 Heavy, descend 5000, QNH 1010. Descend 5000, Qantas 53 Heavy. Singapore Center, iFlight 1014, Mast 4 Bravo, departure at 3800. iFlight 1014, radar contact, continue climb flight level 330. Continue climb flight level 330, iFlight 1014. Emirates 352 Heavy, continue descent 4000.
Continue descent 4000, Emirates 352 Heavy. Singapore Center, Thai Asia 351 at 3500, final 6000.
Thai Asia 351, radar contact, fly heading 200, continue climb flight level 120.
Fly heading 200, continue climb flight level 120, Thai Asia 351. Singapore Center, red cap 172 at 3900, final 6000.
Emirates 352, heavy, contact Kuala Lumpur Center 132.6.
132.6, Emirates 352, heavy.
Thai Asia 351, expect ILS, approach, runway 20 right.
Expect ILS, approach, runway 20 right, Thai Asia 351.
Red Cat 172 radar contact, fly heading 200, continue climb flight level 120.
Fly heading 200, continue climb flight level 120, Red Cat 172
Thai Asia 351, descend 5000, QNH 1010.
Descend 5000, Thai Asia 351.
Red Cat 172 expect ILS, approach, runway 20 right.
Expect ILS, approach, runway 20 right, Red Cat 172
Qantas 53, heavy, continue descent 1500. Continue descent 1500, Qantas 53, heavy. Red Cat 172 descend 5000, QNH 1010.
Descend 5000, Red Cap 172
KML 801, contact Kuala Lumpur Center 132.6.
Yep, so we're on Drukair, Royal Bhutan Airlines.
132.
We're going to do 2 flights on this world tour in this one. This is kind of the strange one because Singapore to Timor-Leste, nowhere near Bhutan. Yet this is the flight, the only flight I could find that flies between from Singapore over to Timor-Leste to Dili. Was Royal Bhutan on Air Royal Bhutan. Now this is the flight, this is the plane we will
proceed direct FlyByWire. Royal Bhutan
flight will be flying into Pero, I believe. I always mix up the 2 airlines. I think both those airlines, well obviously both those airlines do. But we'll be flying into Pero using, Drukair Royal Bhutan Airlines, and then we'll be flying out of Paro using Bhutan Airlines. I know both these airlines pretty well, or at least the liveries pretty well, because I did make I don't know if I ever uploaded them for the whole community in X-Plane. I think I dropped the ball on that. But back in X-Plane 11, I did make for the Zibo mod for the Boeing 737-800 Zibo mod over there in X-Plane, which is the plane I flew for every flight I did in X-Plane. I had, when I was doing my world tour and I was getting into Paro, I had to make a Drukair Royal Bhutan Airlines and a Bhutan Airlines, both those liveries, and those were my first 2 liveries I did. I think I did a total of 3. I also did a Koryo, Air Koryo, when I flew out of Pyongyang, out of Shanghai. So those 3 flights kind of give me memories, and now we're flying them in the correct plane, especially here, or closer to the correct plane. Royal Bhutan Airlines and Bhutan Airlines in and out of Paro. Now obviously we're not flying Paro on this one, but that will be flight 287, flying from Dhaka in Bangladesh up to Paro in Bhutan. And then obviously the next flight, 288, will be flying out of Paro over to Delhi, India, which is a little bit different. I think originally, or back in X-Plane, I flew from Paro out to Kathmandu, but we're going to fly out to Delhi, then we'll fly to Kathmandu. We're going to fly to a number of Indian airports this world tour. Looking forward to that, a couple of those flights, especially into Paro. That's a tricky one. I did not succeed at the landing, despite practicing it a few times in the approach in X-Plane. But I'm definitely going to try to do a little practice on the approach, and hopefully not overshoot that last turn. That's what it was. I overshot, ended up a little bit too far to the right on the short final to make a turn right before the runway. You're probably like maybe 200 feet up, and you make that final left turn, and I just overshot the turn and ended up too far to the right, overcorrected. Obviously should have just gone around, but I overcorrected and kind of nailed the left wing at first, and cartwheeled or whatever I did back there in X-Plane. So we're going to try not to do that. And I've got, that's only probably a month away. Especially considering that we're going to knock out, we're going to get all the way over to Burma, to Myanmar. We got flights tomorrow.
Proceed direct Tango Papa Golf 20.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So four more World Tour flights. Might possibly do a couple in the afternoon on this extended break I have here. 6 days off. We're on break day number 2. I've got a few flights here.
Continue climb flight level 330.
Cruise through. So today we're going to get Timor-Leste, East Timor. Knocked off. We're going to get 2 flights in Indonesia the next 2 days, flying into Denpasar on Bali, and then over to Jakarta. Then we'll fly to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, then up to Yangon, Myanmar, Burma. And then we'll kind of see how the schedule works out. I don't have schedule going forward from that, but next time I have off, I plan on probably go up to Cambodia, then to Laos. Making our way, probably by December, looking at it, by December we should be just about done with East Asia, and probably even finished. We'll kind of be in Sri Lanka, India area. I'm just kind of looking at interesting flight patterns here. We're going to fly into India, we're going to then fly over to Kathmandu, then we're going to fly back to India, then to Sri Lanka, then to the Maldives, then to India, then back to Sri Lanka, and then we'll fly out to Pakistan. So kind of bouncing back and forth. We'll also have another flight into China.
Unless anything changes in the meantime, you'll next hear from me around the time we start our descent, so I'll leave you in the hands of our excellent cabin crew. Thanks very much.
Alright, just about our cruise. The sun is quickly rising into the sky and kind of left behind most of the land masses behind us. Also behind them. They're right there. Actually, yeah. Now we're gonna be a little bit, probably, let's say about 45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes until we get to Borneo. We're on the southwestern edge of Borneo, over Indonesia, and then we'll have a longer trek over to Timor-Leste. A really long flight, nearly to Australia. Well, 3 hours left, so I'm going to turn on 2 times speed for time acceleration. And if you have it, enjoy the cruise.
Sim rate 2. Sim rate 4.
Oh, okay, I didn't think we could go sim rate 4 in the fly-by-wire. I guess they've updated it and it now works. Kind of see that clock burning away.
Sim rate 2.
About to serve our breakfast and lunch menu. Please make sure the tray table is in the down position. Clear any items in the aisle. Thank you.
Sim rate 4. Sim rate 2.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. How are things? All good?
Yes, everything is fine. Thanks for asking.
Call me if you need anything.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Sorry to bother you. Would you like something to eat?
No, thank you.
No problem. Do give me a call if you change your mind, though.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. I just wanted to come by and ask if everything was going okay.
Yes, everything is fine. Thanks for asking.
Give me a call if you need anything else.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you, as a self-loading cargo customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly. Thank you.
Alright, we still have an hour and 8 minutes or so sim time. Remember, we're going at double touch speed, so that'll probably be 40 minutes, 35 minutes till our top of descent. Hey, Ekaterina, welcome in. I saw you yesterday, I didn't say. I said hi to everyone, but didn't call you out by name. Yeah, we're at double speed right now, time acceleration, just because we're flying for a lot of empty ocean. You can see some of the islands. Flew over Borneo before. Flew Borneo off on our left. Oma Island. And the next one we'll see on our left will be Sulawesi. That's up to our north part of Indonesia as we fly through the Java Sea down to the Flores Sea. And on our right we'll have the kind of that long string of islands in the southern part of Indonesia. Just a wild, I mean, Indonesia is one of those wild countries. I'm really wondering, like, I'm gonna have to look up somewhere what the distance between one end to the other is. I mean, I'm sure it's probably, I'm guessing, I want to say it's probably pretty close to what the U.S. is from one end to the other, not including Hawaii and Alaska, possibly including Hawaii and Alaska. Apple juice, I've been here for like 55 minutes, just too lazy to chat or something. Well, I hope you're enjoying the view. I mean, there's not a ton to see right now, but that's why I'm going double speed. One of the reasons I'm going double speed, time acceleration. There's not a ton to see when you're flying over a pretty empty sea, but also because I only have so much time. I only have so much time to fly before everyone else starts getting up in the house, and already we're still pushing that time. I think it's worth it. I don't know how many hours I've flown in it. Actual flight hours, I'd have to look. You know, at least I'm looking at my looking right now at this plane, my world tour, and real time I've almost flown 460 hours real time. Now sim time, obviously I do use a time acceleration here and there, but real time I've spent probably at least 500 hours, probably getting close to 750. I'd have to look in, because Flight Simulator actually keeps track of your flight time as well. I know I've been in the sim setting up planes, practicing, doing all that stuff. I've flown, I've used it for over 2,000 hours, and that's only my gameplay. I can only fly, do real gameplay, you know, a few hours, a couple days a week, with the way my job is and family. So, I mean, if you look at it, I've probably put in, you know, I always live by the idea that if I spend $1 for a game, I should get an hour of gameplay out of it. Now I spent like $120. I got the premium deluxe version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I spent I think $120 on it. Well, I've far exceeded that. Just in flight time, I've got more than what I spent on Flight Simulator itself. Now I also have bought planes. I've bought scenery editions like the trees. I've bought, you know, so I'm probably gonna say, you know, this kind of hurts to say, but I'm gonna estimate. Let's say I've spent like $500 all set on things for Microsoft Flight Simulator that I didn't have when I got Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think it's worth it. I mean, I've put in over 2,000 hours flight time. I mean, basically $1 for every hour of flight, maybe, I put into this. And that includes also having Navigraphs, which is like $100 a year. So, you know, you don't need to have all that extra stuff. I mean, you could spend, I think, you know, to get the Premium Deluxe, it's probably still $100. You don't even need the Premium Deluxe, really. I mean, but yeah, I'd say it's worth it. I'd hold out, though, if you're thinking about Microsoft Flight Simulator and you can wait. I'd potentially just wait until Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 comes out this next year. We're gonna have a lot of new stuff, and you know, it's the next version of the game. So if you can wait, I'd say wait. And yeah, definitely if you want to get into flight simming, it is a great. It's got the largest community. The other two flight sims, the other two big flight sims, paid flight sims, and that are really detailed are Prepared 3D and X-Plane. I think they're on X-Plane 12 now, and I had X-Plane 11 before because it was the most up-to-date, it was the most recent one sim that had come out, because Microsoft Flight Simulator hadn't come out in many years. As far as visuals, you can see what the visuals look like here. The visuals, I think, in Microsoft Flight Simulator are the best. There are some things that I think X-Plane did better, namely at airports, like the lines on the ground and stuff. For some reason, I still have issues with Microsoft Flight Simulator, but that's my settings. So if you have a beast of a computer and you can like max out all your settings, it's going to look insanely great. But I have I can't go back to X-Plane anymore, because with Microsoft Flight Simulator, it pulls in all the land data from Bing. And so you see, like when you're flying over US or Europe or most places in the world, you're seeing satellite imagery, and it's just being pumped in your computer using the internet. With X-Plane, I always had to pull in the satellite imagery. I had to do that all manually before a flight, and it was very time consuming. Now I can just jump in and fly, and everything looks really good. So yeah, it's worth it. Again, you can spend anywhere between $50 to a couple $1,000s on flight simming. Yeah, Mika knows what I'm talking about. Ortho 4 XP days, yep. Now there are some times I wish I could do some Ortho 4 XP here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I wish there was, I don't know if there is a tool for that. There are some places like in China where I would like to do that, because I got that map replacement where it pulls in, it'll try to use Google instead, or you know, and you can have a paid version of that, which actually works a little bit better, I guess. I'm not going to pay for it. But I've run into trouble in... Well, we kept running into issues with that flight into Shanghai. Sim kept crashing. I don't know if it was because of the map replacement, or if it was because I was using Alpha India Group traffic. You know, and I didn't test with either one off to see if it would work again. I was tired of trying to fly that same flight over and over again. Maybe I'll go back and try that again, but that'd be really cool to have some areas where it's like, okay, the Bing imagery isn't that great. Let me just go in, download the imagery, put it in, boom, there it is. Because when I flew over China back in X-Plane, I had that imagery from Ortho 4 XP, and it looked amazing. It looked really good where I had it, because I had the latest stuff. And yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator is worth it, especially at this point. I mean, we're 3 years in now, or this is the 4th year? Yeah, we're going into year 4 here, because 2020. Yeah, so we're going into the 4th year of Microsoft Flight Simulator 20. Came out at, what, I believe August 2020? July or August 2020. And yeah, I've sunk a ton of time into this sim. My plan was with this, I have these 6 days off, so I'm on my 2nd day off here of my 6 in a row. I was gonna, like, in the afternoon fly from a pilot's Life 2, Ibex Airlines out in Japan with the CRJ. At some point I'm going to fly some flights. I was planning on, like, every day I'm going to do this religiously, but I was on Steam yesterday, and they had a sale on Madden 24, Madden Football 24, and NBA Live 2024. Or not NBA Live, NBA 2K24 from 2K Sports. I don't think EA Sports makes a... They all get exclusive, and then they don't get as good. I mean, I'm looking at the ratings, the reviews, it's like overwhelmingly negative. Do not buy this game. I understand what the negativity is. It's basically the game hasn't changed much over the years. So, but I picked up both of those. Like last night, I was just playing Madden for hours. It wasn't as bad. I think I just had it sitting, and we were doing other stuff. It was just sitting. So Steam says I was playing it for like 9 hours, but it was probably a couple hours. I'm kind of into that right now. Kind of getting into playing some sports games. Maybe at some point I'll stream stuff on that too. Once I get back into the rhythm of how to play those. Maybe we'll do some Madden streaming and some NBA streaming. That'll be kind of fun. See how it looks, the graphics card too. I'm hoping the stream looks better. Again, when I watch it on my phone, it looks amazing because my phone is my phone. It's tiny, right? The screen is much smaller. When I watch it on my when I watch it on my 4K TV, it actually looks really good too. When I watch it on any of my 3 screens right in front of me right now on my computer, it doesn't look as good for some reason. So, but like I said, I kind of turned up that sharpening a little bit. I think that's helped just a tiny bit. A few things, a few other tweaks. I'm just playing with it. All right. Yeah, I notice things, and it looks. It might be also. It's also when you can really notice. Like right now, it's not as noticeable because we are flying over kind of just ocean. But it's really noticeable when you're seeing detail. The detail kind of gets washed out and blurred. Especially at night, it looks bad. But I don't know. Maybe night looks bad on everything. I'm a little nitpicky. I'm just trying to make it look the best, and always kind of regretting getting the AMD card. I like saving the $300-400 I saved versus getting the NVIDIA. I know Mika's heard me talk about this over and over again. But anyway, yeah, so got about an hour to go. I don't know if that's an hour real time or an hour in sim time. Little thing up there. I think that's a little the estimated time above en route, ETE above on the overlay. That I think is real time estimate because we're going at 2 times speed. So see the clock over here rapidly going. Top of descent is in 144 Zulu. We got about 45 minutes or so before we get to our descent. Sim time, so that's about 20 minutes. Alright, there, off on our left, we can start seeing, that's where Makassar, Indonesia is, over that direction. That sounds familiar to me, Makassar. That's the island, I believe this is the island of Sulawesi, between Borneo and Sulawesi is the Makassar Strait. We're flying over Java Sea, kind of entering into the Flores Sea now. Flores Sea. Why am I weather radar? I know the weather radar kind of works in this plane now, but it wasn't showing up earlier when we had those clouds. Let's see if it does as it comes. Now, I think when I flew in to East Timor-Leste back in X-Plane a few years ago, probably, it would have to be in 2019 or early 2020, before Flight Simulator came out. That was right when that volcano, I think that was right when that volcano had erupted. I literally was flying like the same day that volcano erupted. And I think I even saw the volcano in X-Plane kind of, modeled. Obviously it wasn't spewing smoke and lava or anything, but you could see, oh, there's that volcano that's all over the news. That's completely blown up in Indonesia, Timor. That was really good. Timor-Leste is on the eastern end of Indonesia likes to share a bunch of places. I think Timor-Leste also has an exclave. on the same island. So there's a chunk of Timor-Leste, and then there's a little chunk just off on the other part of the island that's... Why my fan is really hot up here. Until now. Timor-Leste.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Just checking to see if everything is okay.
Yes, everything is fine. Thanks for asking.
Just give me a buzz if you need anything.
The thing I'm really looking forward to with self-loading cargo is when they get some more voice packs. I think I have like a German, a French, a few other things. It would be really cool to have them for all, especially to have like dual language. So once we get to a flight, I'm gonna have to pay attention, remember that when we get to a flight where it's like, oh wait, here I'm gonna have the default English or American, and then I'm also gonna have the flight attendants have that second language. Apple Juice, that is self-loading cargo. Let me see if I have. I don't really have my play up very well. It's self-loading cargo. I'm gonna have to. I don't have it showing because I'm not showing my whole display and don't have it set up properly right now. To show my whole display. Oh, messing up the way the stream looks. But it's called self-loading cargo. It's a kind of a passenger simulation add-on that you can buy. That's what I mean. Microsoft Flight Simulator or any simulator, there's all these extra programs you can buy. Some of them are free, some are pay. There's self-loading cargo and PackX are the two big ones, which add in kind of like a passenger experience where you can, have there's announcements. You'll notice in the background if you really pay attention, you'll hear like flushing going on when passengers are flushing their toilets. Things. It adds in those kind of things. It also will track your flight and judge how good the flight was, how you interacted with passengers, how good your landing was. So there's little extra things. Again, not necessary to flight simming, but it's that extra thing. I bought self-loading cargo. I also bought PackX back when I was playing X-Plane. Self-loading cargo got a huge update after 3 years of almost just being dormant. Finally, a huge update a few months ago, so that's why I'm using it again. But yeah, it adds in announcements, interaction with the flight crew. Okay, I need to let me try to this. We'll do it like this. Not a big, might not look a little funky. Here we go. So I'm showing the display. You can see how it's kind of on my whole widescreen right now. And go to 1 time speed because it doesn't work with time acceleration. You can't interact with that at least.
Sim rate 1.
Up there in the corner, this is a FS HUD ATC for your air traffic control. Here's the toilet. So here's all kinds of different stuff like our flight information, where we're flying, our block time so far. Nice thing is it does, if you are using time acceleration, it goes off the sim time, so you can do time acceleration, you can actually see how long your flight actually was, and we'll keep track of that. So we've been flying for 2 hours and 50 minutes. We've only been in the air real time probably an hour and a half, I think. That's nice. Various little summary issues, ground tech report, medical issues. I don't think there's any medical issues yet. That's going to come next update. Knows what the cabin crew is doing. There's a like movie. Control the seatbelt. Now I think this works. Some planes this will automatically just go with whatever your switch is. You have your. If I turn the seatbelts on, now it just switched. I think if I go over here, it definitely works on, I think, Microsoft, like Azobo planes, like planes that are default or based on the default for the sim work. But I think it works with the PMDG plane as well. It doesn't work with the Aerosoft CRJ though. Here it's got all your in-flight service management. And what you do, like when you set up the flight, you can also set up how many like meal services and how much food there is. Because there have been times I've had long flights where I've run out of food, I've run out of drinks, and there's still like 4 hours to go on the flight. It's dreadful. You can see right here, no more food and no more duty free. Looks like there's still, that's really weird that the drinks scheduled in 2 hours at 1:03. They haven't even done a drink. Alcohol. Here. I can like manually do that. And so let's check our passengers. So here's the passengers. Yekaterina just got a mobile flight sim preparing for my flight. So here's like a map of the plane, all the passengers in their seats. You can click on passengers, see their name, versus in 6E business, flight negative, they're tired, you can just all kinds of stuff, interacting with the crew. Then there's a little, like their satisfaction levels, kind of getting an overview of that, anxiety level, health, boredom, thirst, one I'm kind of interested in, because they haven't had the drink service yet, it looks like. Hunger, who needs a toilet. Toilets are actually working. I think the first flight I did with this, since when the update came out, none of the toilets worked. They were all broken. So the whole flight, everyone was just desperate for the toilet, and they couldn't use the toilets because they were all blocked up. Here we got someone in the toilet right now. Their needs should be going away. Glad to have been able to use the toilet. Other people are drunk. Who's eating? Who's drinking alcohol currently? Who's sleeping? Kind of those light greens. Who's using the Wi-Fi? Watching the movie? Who's awaiting attention from the flight attendants? If it's a black dot on some of these, it means they don't have their seatbelt on. If they are filled in, it means they do have their seatbelt on. Lots of little information. You can even, sit down as a passenger. Let's click on this passenger, Faith Herrera, 64, a male, 64, and we can, well, okay, I can't interact with services. But like here, I can request a drink. Request a drink? There we go. Request a drink. So you should hear a ding, and flight attendant will come over. What can I do for you? Possibly have a drink, please? Can't right now, but drinks are on the way, so it won't be long. Yeah, like an hour or something. So the Edgar Iverston is one of the flight attendants. You can click on them and see what they are, what they're doing. There's a lot of cool little things you can kind of look at. The primary thing I use this for, almost more than anything, is just to get my real flight time when I'm doing time acceleration. It shows when I boarded, off the blocks, take off, flight time, block time, all that stuff. Well, it's a really kind of in-depth thing. I think it's like $15 or something. It's not crazy. It just adds another level. There is another program. I'm gonna think scheduled in 2 hours. I need to land into it. So you can go here and manual. Let's give them some alcohol. Why not? We did duty free, no more food. You can just barely hear her voice back there because I have the door closed on the cockpit, so we don't hear the message. We shouldn't hear the messages. We also have control over the toilet, so we can close the toilets down. I have it set, like this little green dot means that they're automated, so they'll just do that. The cabin crew will do that instead of me having to worry about, oh wait, I'm landing, I need to turn off those toilets. Same with Wi-Fi, which is, I mean, this is just crazy. It shows like your Wi-Fi bandwidth and everything, and how it goes up and down, and connections, the effectiveness, like just crazy. Lighting, again, I have it all auto, but this again. Well, right now you can see kind of how the lighting is. And they got zones, so now it's very white because the lights are bright. I turn it down, now the lights are off at zone 1. I adjust them. Not sure we really need lights. Have the lights on a flight like this? I suppose because people are gonna have their windows shut and all. All right, now you can see they're serving the drinks, and so where it's pink, they're serving them. There's a little cart right in front of each flight attendants. So it's pretty cool. I mean, you could spend a whole flight real time just watching the interactions going on. It's kind of cool. Let's see what else we got. Question. That's voice recognition. The cool thing with this too is like right now I've got it set that I click on something and it will play. But you could also do voice. You could actually make your own announcements. You can actually interact with the cabin crew using your voice commands. Cool. Yeah, like right there. So here it's got a whole this is a narration window. It just tells you what people are saying. Settings and power, yeah. Well, that's that. Self-loading cargo. I know Passenger 2 is coming out right now, or is about to come out. And that is a kind of a similar kind of program. It's a little bit more in depth, a little bit kind of a mix of running an airline and having passenger interactions. I mean, I think PAC-X kind of has like a career mode where it keeps track of your career. Self-loading cargo, every flight's its own flight, I think, basically, and grades you. PAC-X will kind of keep track of, so if you want that, I mean, every single program has its own little thing. Self-loading cargo is kind of, it's just focused on passenger flying, whereas PAC-X has a quote-unquote career mode. And then Passenger 2, which is in development and is about to release pretty soon, has it seems like you can even set up your own airline and what you sell, like in the duty-free, what stuff you sell in duty-free, and what drinks you have on the plane. It gets really in-depth, it looks like. I'm not sure if you have to get that in-depth or not, but I don't know if it'd be nice to be able to like try it out for free. So if anyone's watching it has any connections. Alright, let's see. Ekaterina earlier was telling us about Borneo is split between Malaysia and Indonesia. Yep. Oh, and can I think of it now? Oh, Brunei. Yep. Who is from one of our viewers? I can't remember. One of you is from Malaysia, like right next to Brunei, like right on the border. Like when we flew out of there to go to Singapore, we probably flew house. But yeah, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei actually on Borneo. And then according to the government of Indonesia, its capital of Jakarta will be replaced with a new one on Borneo. I did not know. This November, Ekaterina is going to be flying to Uzbekistan to see her parents and celebrate Dad's birthday. Pretty cool. This November, well, we're not going to be getting over to Uzbekistan this November. Uzbekistan, we're going to get there. We're going to get there around Christmas right now. And the current, the way I've got it currently laid out, probably around Christmas. We're going to be flying from Dubai, no, not Dubai, Kabul, Afghanistan, over to Tashkent International, Uzbekistan on AM Air. So, Apple Juice is from Burma, from Myanmar. Cool. We're going to be flying there. That will be on November 1st. November 1st. In the morning, we'll be flying there. In that, 5 flights from now. 4 flights from now. My last day off, we'll be flying into Yangon. Yangon? How do I say it? It used to be Yangon, or the way they used to spell it. Or no, Rangoon. Rangoon. Now it's Yangon. which is always interesting because it's the same thing in China where, because I lived in China for 8 years, and you have the new way, the new Pinyin, you know, Shanghai, Chang'an, Beijing, but then you go look at the old ways, like, you know, I lived in Hangzhou. It's Hangzhou, C-H-O-U, but it used to be Hangzhou, right? C-H-O-W, just a different way, different render, the romanization of the language. Yangon. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna be flying there. I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna be flying in from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We're gonna be taking Malaysia Airlines up to Yangon, Myanmar, and then whenever my next day off, we'll be flying from Yangon to Phnom. I don't know how to say it. Phnom Penh in Cambodia. We'll be on Malaysia Airways International or Airlines, Myanmar Airlines International, whatever it is, stands for MAI. I don't have it right in front of me what the airline is, but looking forward to that. We're getting closer and closer to finishing the world tour, and then once we finish the world tour, I'm going to open it up for, we'll probably be doing I'll be doing some more of Pilot's Life flying, you know, career mode, but then also I've got a backlog of flight requests. You guys have flight requests. Put them in here in the chat. What I should start doing is I should start just writing down, if you recommend one here in the chat, I should write it down, put it in. I've recommended many times going on Discord and I have a flight request section on there. That also helps. I prefer real life flights, but I can do fictional flights too. Like I had the other day, or I don't know if it was in this chat or if it was on the comments, I had someone from Africa requesting a flight from Addis Ababa in Ethiopia over to somewhere in the Republic of Congo coast. A nice long flight. I looked it up. There is no flight direct between those two places coming from Ethiopia over to the destination in Republic of Congo, but there is, the return flight does. So the flight from Ethiopia over to Republic of Congo is a 2-stop flight, or 1 stop. It's not direct. I mean, there's 1 stop before, and then it gets to the destination. And then the return goes back. That little round trip, as I believe would be a 3-stop flight, right? So I'm gonna do that flight, but I'm gonna do it in reverse. Do that return flight from the Republic of Congo to Ethiopia. Ethiopian Airlines 780 in the 787-800. So I'm looking forward to that because I really like flying that plane every once in a while. So yeah, next year, well, end of February for sure. March, we're gonna be going headlong into doing viewer requested flights. There are going to be some different flights. Lots of time acceleration because these flights that are requested are usually pretty long. But it'll be nice to kind of just be able to jump all over the world and do different flights on a whim, as opposed to, you know, the original reason I did this world tour idea was so I could fly all over the world. And it gave me a way to kind of force me into flying different flights. Because when I first got X-Plane, I was like, what flight do I want to fly? Milwaukee to Denver, okay. You know, whereas with the world tour, I'm like, okay, I'm in Myanmar. I now need to get to but I need to get to Vietnam or Cambodia or Laos or India or Bangladesh. Okay, what flights are leaving Myanmar, leaving Yangon, and are going to take me to that other place, that other country? And so it really opened up being able to fly different airlines and fly different routes, places I probably never would have thought of going. Especially the African continent. I mean, there's just so many cool places to fly. There's so much everywhere. And often neglected. I know a lot of the comments, especially early on, because I restarted this world tour with Microsoft Flight Simulator, doing all the flights on YouTube, and I so happened to, I think I restarted, I was in Kigali, Rwanda, I think, was the first flight out of where I flew out of. I'm in the middle of Africa, and now I go and fly the rest of Africa. I think it took 80 flights or something, all of Africa. And a lot of the comments were like, oh, I'm so glad to see you flying in Tanzania, or so glad to see you flying over here in Zimbabwe, or Nigeria, or wherever. I never see people streaming flights, flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane or anywhere in Africa. I'm like, oh, that's so cool, because you just get these different audiences depending on where you are in the world on the trip. Oh. Well, let's... Getting close. Alright, it's 1:26. Descent is in 20 minutes. Give them let the crew know. Hello?
Hello, Captain.
There we go.
Just to let you know that there's around 20 minutes to go before we start descending.
Okay, well, since the passengers are pretty thirsty, I'll bring the drink service forward so they can have a drink before landing.
No problem at all.
I like how she said that, but it's like I already started the drink service. But maybe she would have started the drink service now, as I told her. All right, now I'm going to tell the crew, or tell the passenger.
Good morning once again from the cockpit. I hope you're enjoying the flight so far. We'll be starting our descent in approximately 20 minutes. The arrival weather forecast is looking good, so it should be a nice easy approach into the airport. We're not expecting any delays, so we should be able to land fairly quickly. Once we do begin our descent, please listen to the cabin crew carefully and pay attention to any instructions they provide. Please also monitor the seatbelt sign during our approach. Thanks for flying with us, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Alright, so just pulled up the MEDAR for Presidente Nicolau Lobato International. And we got VFR conditions, 26 degrees Celsius, 2 knots, variable wind in variable direction, 2 knots, visibility unlimited, no ceiling, a few clouds at 2100 approach. Of course, this is a service that's used. Metro station is 272 kilometers away, so coming out of, I think actually that's our alternate. Yeah, the MEDAR is actually coming out of our alternate, so it doesn't really help us very much. Let's see if I can get it here. Go into the MCDU menu, TSU, AOC, weather request. Get the weather for all of our airports. Don't really need it for Singapore, but our arrival and our alternate. And let's see if we get anything for Papa Delta Lima. We are getting Alpha Tango Tango, but that's as our alternate. It's not really helpful to have our alternate weather
Sorry for the intrusion.
and not know what this weather is. Okay, the weather's good here. It doesn't mean the weather's
I'd
good
love
here.
a
That's why
coffee,
it's an
please.
alternate.
Thank you.
No problem. I'll get it for you now.
Message you. Message. No data available, so that's going to make it a little difficult. We'll print that off. Enter. I need it for this approach page. It actually gets the right train. Not the right. I don't know where it gets that transition altitude. Oh, that's the transition altitude. That's the transition level would be 140. That's where you go from saying flight level 140 to saying 14,000 feet. But that'd be a transition level. Transition altitude, 12,000 feet. That's where we go from standard pressure. Right there, standard pressure. We go to our local barometric pressure. Hey, following YT, welcome in. About 30 minutes to go here.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Your drinks are ready. They're in the storage compartment in our galley.
Thanks.
No problem.
I know that feeling about getting a box that you left when you moved. So Yekaterina, another name for Uzbekistan is Uzbekia, and parents are handing me a box. I'll bring this all up. Handing me a box that I left when I moved to the USA back in 2018. Yeah, when we moved from China in 2019, we left a lot of stuff behind in our apartment. A few things, like yesterday, like I was talking earlier, I bought. Stream really laggy? Yeah, how's the stream working for everyone else? I don't know why it's super laggy for you. Because I haven't noticed anything about lagginess usually. Now there's sometimes, not the stream itself, but usually there'll be some, like the frame rates will be bad, you know, at busy airports. And sometimes the quality, I notice it jumps on YouTube for some reason. You know, for the visual for some reason, because it just doesn't, there's not enough bit rate or something, which is crazy because I keep just pumping the bit rate up higher and higher and higher here on YouTube. But I don't know what the problem is with there. But yeah, I don't know why you're having laggy, so that's gonna probably be on your end, because yeah, everything, I haven't had too many problems with dropping frames or lag with the streams in a while, knock on wood. What were we doing? Yeah, I was talking about the talking about our pressure transition altitude. Okay, so we have no MEDAR for Dili here. Frustrating. Checking the radar. Issues that we have to worry about. Doesn't look like it, so we should be fine weather-wise, but it doesn't help us that we don't have our information. Can't get any ATIS. No. Will be. Can't get the MEDAR for MEDAR TAF then. TAF is the terminal area forecast. Okay, so the terminal area forecast is slightly different. The local time. Basically, it's saying weather. We have smoke. Oh, maybe there's some more volcanic activity. I don't know. But smoke, visibility 5 kilometers, wind 190 degrees at 5 knots. That's what the forecast says. It's all the same. Minimum VFR 190 at 5 knots. So I'm gonna go with that because it's different than what we have here, where we have variable at 2 knots. So 190, 5 knots. We'll also adjust this depending on what FS HUD ATC gives us. Temperature, well, I'll just go with that 26 there. Close enough. NH, same thing, doesn't. That 101, which is standard. Calling YT, doing a 2-hour flight on my own from Miri to Kuala Lumpur, right? Calling YT, you're the one, you're from Malaysia, yeah, from Miri, right? We were just talking about Borneo, and Yekaterina had said that Borneo is split between Indonesia and Malaysia, and I said, hey, well, don't forget about Brunei. Brunei's right there, very close to where you live in Miri. Calling YT. And when you said that you were flying from Miri to KL, I was like, oh, that's right. You're in Malaysia, because who else would you be? Now, who else is flying from Miri to Kuala Lumpur? Really? Be a nice flight. I mean, that's basically almost the flight we did yesterday, right? Flying from Brunei over to Singapore. Almost the same flight, just a little bit further, a little bit more north. Yep, looking ahead here, as I said, we're flying to Dili, Timor-Leste, and then we're going to be going, tomorrow morning we'll be flying over to Denpasar, Indonesia, on board Batik Air, in the Airbus A320 once again. A little bit shorter flight, it looks like about 2-hour flight. That's on the island of Bali, I believe. And then on Monday morning, we'll be flying over to Jakarta, about an hour and a half. Hop on Sriwijaya Air. I'm butchering that. I'll be in the Boeing 737-800. And then from Jakarta on Tuesday, we'll be flying up to Kuala Lumpur on board Garuda Indonesia in the Boeing 737-800. And then finally on Wednesday, we'll be going Kuala Lumpur up to Yangon in Myanmar on board Malaysia Airlines in the Boeing 737-800. So we have a good mix of planes over the next 4 days. And speaking of dropped frames, I just dropped a few frames there. A little bit. Just a little bit, but yeah, it doesn't become a trend. Alright, so we got this page filled in. We're waiting on the minimums. We're planning on runway 26, the minimum for our RNAV approach, RNAV Zulu approach. Chart. There's a chart. RNAV, or RNP, Zulu, runway 26. Final approach course is 256 degrees.
Bhutan 900, expect RNAV, Zulu, approach, runway 08, report when ready for descent.
Right, forget everything I just said about our
Zulu,
approach.
Runway 08, report when ready for descent, World Bhutan 900.
Coming in the opposite direction, runway 08, RNAV, Zulu. Let's see. Start the final. We'll go back on, we'll look at that chart, we'll look at the correct chart. Well, the flight plan, arrival, RNAV, 08 Zulu, no star, and no. We'll go in all the way into the airport, into the VOR, and then we'll come back out for the final approach. We'll see. They might give us something different approach, but no. I'll go back to that performance page and look at our chart. Now. There it is. There. Way to wrong chart. Alright, so runway 08, that's, you want to check that. Very important. So final approach course is now the opposite, 76 degrees. At Delta Lima 735, we want to be at 2,620 feet. Our decision altitude, using the LNAV and the VNAV, which we will be, is 690 feet. Airport elevation is 29 feet, runway 21 feet. We have auto elevation. Really worried about that. There's that transition altitude, 12,000 feet. The flight level, transition level is flight level 140, which is 14. But we say flight level because we're at standard pressure right there. Whereas under 12,000 will be at it's the same as standard pressure, 1013, a local. This approach, we're going to turn left, track direct to Delta Lima 755. You can see that on the map. And then we're going to turn left, track 30 degrees, climbing to feet. And I would assume eventually come back around, approach, possibly come deb and hold. That ends right there. There's our Delta Lima 725. We're going to want to be at 4,500 feet. Then at Delta Lima 735, we're going to be 1,620 feet. Continue on a 3-degree slope runway. Again, the decision altitude is 690 feet, or the height 669 feet. This is going to be Barrow. This would be radio. Go down here to our performance page. We got Barrow. We put in 190. There's our minimum. That's where you put your minimums on the Airbus. A little bit different, obviously, in the CRJ and the Boeing. Here in the Airbus, A320, the fly-by-wire at least. This FMS we put it right here on the approach page. 690 for our minimum. Don't believe. Go to the radio nav page. Put in our. Don't have it because we're doing RNAV. There is no frequency for the ILS or VOR. In fact, VORs in backup. Log me RNAV, so really don't have to put anything in here. We could put in. I don't even think we could put in a course. Don't have a VOR. We could put that in. Might really help us. We're not going off of anything. That's it. All right, looking back at this screen, there's our top of descent right there. 147, we're at 143, so a few more minutes. We should be getting clearance to descend. And the key point, we're looking for Delta Lima 725. We want to be at 4,500. Starting to like that other external camera a little bit more. Don't have to fiddle with. When I like to take screenshots, I like to take screenshots of the plane like that. Okay, down on our south side, on the right, we can see. Little island right in front of us. That's Batutara. A little further off in the distance, that is Mbata Island. We'll have next big one we'll see is Pantar Island, and then we'll have Alor Archipelago. Archipelago. I don't know how to say these names, these words. I can read them. I've seen them, read them a zillion times, and then when I try to say them, I'm like, ugh. And once we cross that island, we'll leave the island. Timor-Leste. That might be the... Gotta do some visuals. This is a... Here might be Pantar Island. Archipelago, Alor. That's a... We're gonna be flying over it, so Alor should probably be right there and then across. This is the island that Timor-Leste is on. Timor. There you go. So you have East Timor, which is the eastern part of the island. And let's see. So East Timor, Timor-Leste, comprises the eastern half of the island of Timor, of which the western half is administered by Indonesia. The exclave of Ukuse on the island's northwestern half, and the minor islands of Ataro and Jako. So we have, yeah, there's that exclave and then a few other islands, a couple islands.
2600 QN8 1012.
Descend 2600, World Bhutan 900.
Oh, man, let's go all the way down to 20. Okay, so you can see right there that green dot, that's where the VNAV, where we should be. We're already 2,200 feet high, so the plane will work on trying to catch up. You see flight level 045, or 4,500 feet. That is a constraint. And that right there is that pink dot, Delta Lima 725. Yeah, we can only go to 4,500 feet, 4,500 feet. Then at 735, we're going to be at 2,990 feet, again constrained. And it sometimes adjusts, so that's, what is the actual 2,620 feet for this one. So I don't know why it's, what it means when it's orange.
Once again
that's
from
kind
the
of adjusting.
As you may have noticed, we've begun
it kind of
our
bounces
descent.
around a little bit.
Depending on the destination air traffic, we should be landing in around 20 minutes. In the meantime, I will be instructing the cabin crew to get the cabin ready for our
this
arrival.
One should be...
Once that happens, the seatbelt sign will be illuminated and you will be required to stay seated and secured until after landing. If you need to visit the toilet, it may be worth making your way towards one now. You'll next hear from me after landing, so I will wish you a very good morning once again, and I'll speak to you in a short while.
You can see right now we're taking a pretty steep climb, or descent right now, to try to catch up with where we should be VNAV-wise, and not really winning the race. Kind of going back and forth. We're just edging on that top speed. There we go. Now we're catching up on it. We'll let the VNAV do its thing. Here's the Alor Archipelago. Archipelago. I think I'm saying that right. Probably not, and now it's here for all of posterity, this club. Wait for our Alright, 190 at 5. Zero 10. 20. Go ahead and plugging this stuff into the performance calculator for our landing. Bring that up so you guys can see. Alright, so config 3, so we're going to go flaps 3 on the landing. Approach speed 139 plus 5. That's plus 5 over 139. And we're limited by runway. Either way, we don't go full flaps and go even slower than here. Auto brake medium, we'll have 612. Pretty short runway, only 1,849. But this is a real life flight that lands here, so yeah, 6,070 feet. So we need to get on the ground. Oh, I got everything. Right. How long have I had that chart open? That chart open. So really silly if I did. Yeah, 6,070 feet. So we're also gonna land. We're gonna pass by the terminal. We're gonna have to double back on the runway. Here's the weird, confusing thing. So now suddenly we're below. Kind of jumps around like that. This as it like readjusts. Green light, or that green dot's bouncing all over the place. See there our flight time. That's actually the chrono right there, so 3 hours and 21 minutes. Okay, so this is the one you want to use. So if you're in the Airbus, you want to use this one if you want to track your long, like your whole flight. Something like this. This one's more for like short things because it only goes up to 99 minutes, basically 100 minutes, and maxes out. So that's kind of like for your short things, like hey, for 10 minutes we need to descend at 1,000 feet or whatever it is, right? We need to fly this course for 5 minutes. That would be the one you want to use for that. This one is better for a full flight, which does check out, or we actually hit that a little bit late. Oh no, that might be the flight time. I think I hit that right when we start taking. Because our block time is telling me we're at 3 hours 34 minutes, but that includes our taxi. We're gonna go, can't use max auto brakes, we're gonna go medium auto brake. We're gonna be going full reversers, we're gonna have the spoilers out, all that good stuff for this landing. Again, I'm not sure why we don't go full flaps. We're only going to flap setting 3 for the landing. Why not go full flaps and less speed? And actually, I say all that because Flaps over. Very interesting that we only need flaps 3. We're only going to go down to 134 knots for landing speed, despite having such a short runway. welcome back. Apple Juice. Falling YT is also back. Are flying over that archipelago. Can't say it. Alor. Flying over right now. Look. Hope that looks good on the stream. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Oh, that actually looks not too bad. I think that sharpening is helping. Helps a little. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start messing around and see if I can get the color better. Because what happens is, like, when I go to the stream, it seems to like loses some of the color quality. So I don't know if maybe just turn the saturation up just slightly, like a tick or two, and it'll just bring back, because it kind of washes everything out, I've noticed. Actually, I still tell I'm streaming. If I can not have to record and upload a recording later, because what happens is when I do a recording and then I want to upload it, I mess around too much with it. Or, oh, I gotta edit my voice, you know. Which is fine to do. I'm not but I don't have the time. And if I get into the habit of doing that, then I end up spending more time futzing around with editing than... At this point, I just want to fly. All I have time to do.
Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
Royal Bhutan 900, contact Pilot Center 120.7.
120.7, Royal Bhutan 900. Bali Center, Royal Bhutan 900, inbound Delta India Lima at 10,200, descending 2,600.
Royal Bhutan 900, radar contact, proceed direct Delta India Lima, then as filed, continue descent 2,600, QNH 1012.
Proceed direct Delta India Lima, continue descent 2,600, Royal Bhutan 900.
Down below 10,000 faster than I thought. Plane is getting us down really fast here. Okay, it's going to have us down at 4,500 at the VOR, basically. Kind of flying. I'm nervous about that because I think there's the airport. airport's gonna be right in there, I believe. Yeah, we're gonna be just flying right along the coastline at 4,500 feet. That makes me nervous. Of course, that is our approach route. Depends on. You have to watch our. Because the highest point over there is there's also a radio antenna. That's 4,672 feet. We need to, and typically you're gonna be flying 1,000 feet above that, so we need to be at 5,700 feet. That's the highest point on the close end here. There are higher points. Obviously, I'm surprised that we're already down 4,500 feet. Also, that we're speeding a little bit.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Everything is secured, ready for landing.
Thank you.
If you let me know when you're ready to land, I'll make sure the rest of the crew are seated and ready.
You can take your seats now. We're almost ready.
No problem. All stations, please landing.
Not loving the way this turns are looking. I want to turn that.
Bhutan 900, turn right heading 260.
That turn there. Not a great.
Right heading 260, World Bhutan 900.
Follow their vectors. Hopefully they don't vector us into the mountain. Their speed coming down. Approach checklist. Briefing confirmed. ECAM status checked. Belts on. Barrow 1013. Set. Minimum 690. Set. Engine mode selector normal. Approach checklist complete.
Royal Bhutan 900, turn right heading 315, cleared RNAV Zulu, approach at 2,600, runway 08, report established, final track.
Direction.
Right heading 315, cleared RNAV Zulu, approach at 2,600, runway 08, report established, final track, Royal Bhutan 900.
Me. Alright, now we'll get back towards altitude 725. Flaps 2. Three. Runway, field in sight. Dang, flaps 3. Barely, yo, there. Approach speed. Go.
World Bhutan 900, established on final track.
2,500.
World Bhutan 900, continue approach.
2,500.
Continue approach. World Bhutan 900. World Bhutan 900, contact Dili Tower 133.9.
2,500.
133.9. World Bhutan 900. Dili Tower, World Bhutan 900, on final, 08. World Bhutan 900, wind 339 degrees at 6 knots, cleared to land, 08. Cleared to land, 08, World Bhutan 900.
I will land manually. Following that green dot in.
One thousand. Hundred above.
If I remember right, I think I bellied a landing here. Or I landed so hard that I busted off my
Minimum.
landing gear and X-plane. If this is the same airport, it looks very familiar. I'm not to do that. Landing gear is down.
400. $50, $40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
World Bhutan 900, report vacated.
That was a little harder than I was hoping.
Report vacated.
A little too hard.
Bhutan 900.
Tried to flare there. Man, that seemed like we were coming in. Not one of the better landings. Firm.
Cabin crew, disarm the doors, please.
Once that happens, we will start deboarding and you'll be able to leave the aircraft. Thank you.
to start. After landing checklist, flaps retracted, spoilers disarmed, APU start, radar off, predicted wind.
Dili Tower, Royal Bhutan 900, runway vacated. Royal Bhutan 900, taxi to parking 2. Taxi to parking 2, Royal Bhutan 900.
Follow me, technically. Parking brakes set. Axial off. Everybody. Strobe light auto. Anti-ice off. APU bleed on. Timer stopped. Engine master switches off. Belt signs on. Beacon light off.
Boarding requested.
Fuel pump.
Ground to cockpit.
Go ahead.
Parking checklist. APU bleed on. Engines
Hi, Captain.
off. Seatbelts
Microphone
off.
check, please.
Exterior lights as required.
Microphone
Fuel
check is
pumps
5
off.
out of 5.
Parking brakes and shocks.
Roger.
Cabin crew, the aircraft is secure. Please open the doors when ready and begin deboarding.
Okay, Captain. Ground power is available. Stand by. We'll start getting you offloaded in a couple of minutes.
Roger.
Passengers bus is coming.
All right. Here we are in Timor. Look at Valanta and post-mortem on the flight. Right there it is. See the kind of the weird route we took out. We followed the flight plan all the way in Dili, turned back for arrival, and you can see landing rate a little bit for G-force. G-force is actually what you're really looking at. That's basically the same as we had last flight. Negative 427 feet per on. This is our sim, or this is the flight time in real time. I'll get you sim flight time in just a moment. Fuel burn just about 7,300 kilos, 1,557 miles. Nautical miles flown for 129 passengers. Landing speed, we were just a little low. Guess we kind of dropped out maybe. Look at that. Real. There go the passenger. Alright, so a real block time, our actual sim block time, we had exactly 4 hours, and the flight time was 3 hours and 43 minutes. So we shaved the flight, the total block time 4 hours, so about 4.5 hours, including the startup. So we shaved off about 1 hour and 10 minutes with that the stream with the time acceleration. Great, but our wheel. Alright, here we go. Here's the world tour map where we've flown so far, and today we go all the way down in here, Timor-Leste, that exclave and biome. I didn't get. There it is. Alright, next flight we're gonna be flying. Where did I say we're flying over to Bali? Right about here, I think. Dennis Bar. We'll be flying over to Jakarta, and then up to Malaysia, right? Oh, right up the chain, then up to Burma, right up here.
Passengers bus is coming.
Alright, so thanks for coming along on the flight. I hope to see you guys all again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., around 7 a.m., similar time to when we started today. Flying, like I said, up to Denpasar, Indonesia, on Batik Air in the Airbus A20N. Until then, happy flying. Take care.